Hi, today we're going to talk about Carb Manager and how to use it and what it does, what it doesn't do, if it's the right fit for you, and why you should use any kind of food tracker, but if you're doing keto, especially Carb Manager. And while there are other decent, and I've used them before, decent food trackers out there that are free or have paid programs inside of them, but the free version does all the things you'd really need to do, at least basically, just like Carb Manager. This is the only one that is really keto. It can do other things too. So if you don't do keto, don't think, well, I don't need Carb Manager. You can set it up to follow any protocol you're really interested in doing. But if you are keto, this really is the one to go to, in my opinion. You can either go to their website at carbmanager.com and sign up there. Again, it is free. The basic program is free. They do have a paid program, and I'll go over what that offers too. But just for what you need, the free version is fine. There's a phone app. So for the phone app, for Google Play, you would go to the Google Play Store and look up Carb Manager. It looks just like this. I have it installed on my phone because I like both the computer app and the phone app, and they correspond with each other. So whatever you enter on the phone will show up on the computer app when you open it, and whatever you enter on the computer will show up on the phone app when you do it. So it works really well together. So you can have it on the go when you're out, when you're working, when you're running errands or eating out, or when you're at home and you're in front of the computer and you want to do it. And actually, I use the phone app 90% of the time, even at home. 10% of the time, if I'm on the computer, I will use it on there for the bigger screen. Okay, so you went to Carb Manager and you filled out the join, which this screen will come up, and it's real simple. And they tell you there, you can go to settings and log in your account from if you're already on it, from your Android or iPhone. The login's down here. But if you haven't signed up at all on your phone and you haven't signed up on a computer, this is where you would do it. Once you've logged in, you'll come up on a screen like this. And on the phone, it'll look a little bit different. It'll look more like this, depending on your phone. I really can't honestly tell you what it looks like on an Apple phone, an iPhone. No idea. But it's got to be fairly similar. Okay. So when you come on this screen, you're going to get your choices, whether you want to track all your carbs. I have mine set for net carbs, but you can track net carbs, total carbs, or adjusted net carbs. If you're unsure of what each one means on any of these things, you can click the little, or just hover over the little eye icon there, and it'll tell you the total carbs are all the carbs you eat, including whatever fiber content they have and sugar alcohol. Net carbs are what most low-carb and keto diets go by, is the total carbs minus all the fiber and sugar alcohol they contain. And adjusted net carbs are the total carbs minus fiber and half of the sugar alcohol. This is especially important for diabetics, where sugar alcohol may still impact their glucose levels to some degree, and it depends on the type of sugar alcohol, but they play it safe and just reduce half of the sugar alcohols of any type whatsoever. Okay, so you're going to decide, if you don't, you can also decide if you want to track all of your macros, which the macros are carbs, fat, protein. Okay, do you want to know what all of them are, or are you only concerned with your carbs, which is depending on your own protocol for how you do it, because technically with keto, the only thing that really 100% counts are the carbs. Although truly it is a good idea to balance it and track all three, and it'll tell you what the suggested amounts for those three are for you and your particular body type, if you want to follow their guidelines. Also, do you want to track calories? Some people just don't care. And that's okay, because really you don't have to. And I do it because I want to know I'm getting at least. A lot of times on OMAD, I get really low on the calorie range, and I don't want that. You don't want to slow your metabolism down. So tracking my calories lets me know I'm not eating enough. Better step that up a little bit. Add something that is nutritious, but will give your body more to work with. But you can decide, on or off. It's up to you. Deduct calories when you exercise. I do that, even though I don't necessarily cut calories because I burned off 300 or whatever. I still like to know what my choices are. Maybe sometimes when I go swimming, I'll burn 400, 500, 600 calories. Well, in my case, being OMAD and already having a hard time meeting my calorie goals, now I really have to work on meeting them. So I want to know what I should be eating to compensate for the exercise, even though I know I'll never get all that much in. Deduct macros. I don't do that. You can. It's up to you. You can set this for yes, and it'll also change your macro goals when you exercise. Show the progress wheel. On or off, it's up to you. I don't do it, but you can. Just more on the page. You can check, if you're in the U.S., you're Imperial. If you're in Canada, or in England or whatever, you do metric. You can set that there. So basically, this is your personal setup field. Okay. Now, then you go to My Profile, and you set up everything about yourself, all your personal information. You go to your macros, and here is where, whether you're keto or carnivore or low carb or low fat, they actually have an option for that. Okay, you want to lose weight, what your calorie goal is. If you can let it set it for you, or you can set it for yourself. It's up to you. Your carb and I should say your macro settings, you can let them set it for you based on what you want to do. Do you want to do low carb, high fat? Do you want to do keto, high protein keto, no carb carnivore, low carb, moderate fat, on and on? Do you want to do a balanced 33% for each of them? Do you want to do the zone, bodybuilding, high carb, low fat? They have the option. Custom percentages or whatever you can set yourself. So that's where you set that up. And then you put in your diet goals. You put in any health goals you may have, how much you want to work out, etc. And then there's advanced. I do not do this because I don't customize my meals ahead of time. I put them in as I go or when I want to. But you can set all that. Meal timing I don't do because I only eat one meal a day. But these are all options that they have for you in the setups. Now, once you're all done with the settings, your screen will open up to your daily log. And it's the same thing on the phone as well. It's smaller. It's smaller, but it's the same thing. And this is my planned meal for today. It's a big one calorie-wise for me, actually, 1,488 calories. I tried to boost it, and I also tried to lower my carbs dramatically today. So this is one of those special days. But so like yesterday was an average day for me, 1,124 calories, a lot of protein, but that's for other, because of some of my choices in here, but they were high protein. 12 grams of carbs, so real middle of the road. 19 is my personal limit on carbs. It tells you what the total carbs are in case you're interested. And I kind of like to know that just because sometimes your total carbs and your net carbs can be pretty far apart. If those foods are super high in fiber and you're eating a lot of them, like, broccoli or whatever. And I still want my total carbs to stay under 30, 35. That's total. That's including sugar, alcohol, fiber, whatever else. Total carbs. My net carbs, I want to stay under 19. But even if they're under 19, if my total carbs are hitting at 30, 35, I want to know, because I'm going to readjust some things to compensate that and bring it down a little bit. Okay, in your daily, this is well, that's yesterday. In your daily thing, you start off with My Day. You can also go in depth, where it will show you a breakdown of your week. It will show you today's macros. Okay, so 1% net carbs, really low. Really, I'm almost carnivore today. 74% fat, 25% protein. It's this was normally, for me, this would be a little bit different. It would break down a little more like this: 4% carbs, 59% fat, 37% protein. That's normal. Today is a slightly unusual day on purpose. And I'll tell you what your actual foods were and what the percentage of daily totals were. It'll break down all the nutrients in them, from calories down to choline. Okay, so that's that. You can also track your water. I don't. I keep track of that personally. I drink a lot anyway. And you can also track steps. And then the next screen you have is your exercise, where you can track your exercise, and there's everything you can think of that you can choose in there. One of them makes me laugh, because one of them is just you can track walking from your car into the store, which is like, geez, or here, food shopping with or without a grocery cart, come on. But anyway, there's that. You can track almost every type of exercise. The next one would be measurements, so you can track your glucose levels, you can track your ketones, you can track just about everything. Blood pressure, if you keep track of that. Obviously weight, you can keep track of that. Nutrition and wellness, it'll show you. Next step down is nutrition and wellness, and you can track your calories over, this is the last 30 days. You can do the last 60 days. You can do the last 7 days. So it gives you a real good idea of that. Your macros, same thing. You can track it through all different time periods. Exercise. Fasting, I do not use this. And the fasting option up there is only available in the premium version. I do have the premium version, and I don't have it for that. I don't care about that. I don't like their fasting tracker. It's not that good. It's something new they just put in there because fasting has become so prominent in the recent month or couple years. It's become a real thing, so they put it in there really just recently, and it isn't that good. I will go over a couple of the fasting trackers that I like and two of them that I use. Yes, I use two every day. I am a real control freak on that kind of stuff. Okay, you can track your sleep and your hydration if you want to. One nice thing about the paid program, and again, not the reason I do it, is because with the paid version, you can, if you have a Fitbit, if you have a Garmin exercise tracker, activity tracker, or the Google tracker or whatever, it will automatically sync to this, both on your phone or on your computer, either way. And it will automatically update your exercise, your sleep, your hydration, blah, blah, whatever you track on there. I used to use that because I used to have a Garmin tracker watch, and it worked great until it didn't, and I haven't replaced it. So there is a community on here. It's, I don't really get into that too much, but they have it. If you're really into it, they have it. They have challenges and groups and forums and all that kind of stuff. And they also have really helpful information. Now, a lot of this stuff, however, is in the paid part. The diet plan, I think, is part of the paid plan. The analysis, I know, is part of the paid program. The recipes and meals, that's all part of the paid program. You can search recipes. They're okay, but a lot of it you can just find online anyway. So Again, not why I had the food plan. I had the food plan for the analysis and for some of the nutrition and wellness charts that aren't necessarily as detailed on the free plan. And the reports. I like the reports part. Again, control freak. But that's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. I don't know what that happened there, but yeah, on the Apple Store, it looks like this to pick it out if you have an iPhone. And it's really simple to use. Let's go over. Can I do it? Start account. Let's relog in here. Sorry about this. I somehow closed it out before. Okay. Let's just say, I already did today's, but let's just say this is today's menu. And you want to put in a food. You come over to these little 3 dots here, or you can just go to My Foods, but I always just come over to these little dots here and hit Add Food. And you can select what you want. This is your recently used foods, or you can do a search. Once you've kind of populated your list or saved foods, which I'll show you in a minute, let's go with what's something I haven't eaten for a long time. Unfortunately, liver, and because it's hard to find here in the stores. I love liver, and it's good for you. Well, anyway, when you hit Add Food, you click on the food you want, and it'll come up with its own little page here to tell you the breakdown. And they have an interesting little thing here, their keto grade, whether it's from A to F, it'll tell you, and it's usually A, C, or F. I don't see many B's or C's. They see them once in a while, but B's or D's. You see them once in a while, but most of it is either it's really good for you, it's really middle of the road, a C, or it's really bad, an F. But okay, so you can still choose, even though I clicked on lunch, you can still change that in here to wherever, if you're doing it. And you can click on, ounces, 3 ounces. Okay, so 3 ounces. And then just hit Add. Oh, I didn't show you new food. Okay, let's add some liverwurst to it. I'm kind of curious to see what liverwurst comes up as. Oh, they got a grade A. Okay, you got to be careful of liverwurst because it actually is a grade A keto food. But look at the ingredients. Make sure they don't have sugar in it or other questionable keto things like corn flour or cornstarch or high fructose corn syrup. Make sure none of that's in there in the brand you're choosing. In general, liverwurst is very good. Okay, once you have a food and you know you're going to use it all the time. If you have a food you're maybe going to have once every month or once every couple times a year, I don't necessarily bother with it. But if you have a food, say, I love liverwurst, just say. And I'm going to eat it 2 or 3 times a week, or at least once a week. You go over here in these little 3 dots and you add it to your favorites. And then it'll always be in there. You won't have to search for it all the time. You just go to your favorites. Get out of there. Okay, so once you're in this, when you're looking for a food, you can go to My Foods, right? Yeah. It should be in there. Nope, this is the ones you create yourself, like recipes and stuff. Really should be in here. Oh, see, it's a little different on the phone. On the phone, it would just show up in the bar. There's your favorites. And these are all my favorites, but so it's really easy to use. These are some of the recipes that they do here. And like I said, they're not bad. I've used a few. They're good. They're easy to follow. They're actually very good recipes. So it's nice. But I don't use it enough that would be a reason to do the paid plan. They give you lots of information even without the but here's premium. Let's see. Okay. They say you get 3 times the results. I don't know that I buy that necessarily. And you get 3,600,000 recipes, 360. You get 360,000 recipes. They do have a lot. They really do. You can plan your meal and your shopping list at the same time. So if you do your meals for the week on the log that I showed you, you can just populate your shopping list from that. I don't do it, but it can be done. You get a weekly meal plan if you like. This is why I do it. This is the entire reason I pay for the membership. It's not really expensive, but this is the entire reason that I pay for a membership. I like the reports. You get a lot more reports and analytics with the paid version of the app than you do. But that's all. That's really basically, these things are about it. There's some advanced tools like voice logging. I don't use, Snap Foods, where you can take a picture of your meal and it automatically records it. Doesn't really work that well. So definitely not the reason I would use it for. Integrates with apps and devices. This is really nice. If you have the Fitbit, the Garmin, Apple Health, Google Fit, if you have those programs and you use them for your workouts and stuff like that, or tracking sleep or tracking water, whatever, that's a really nice touch because you can integrate it right into the Carb Manager and you're off. Inspirational stuff, So there are things that it does, and you can see there's quite a bit of things that it does. Subscription length is 1 year. The total subscription is $39.99, or 3 months for $16.49, or 1 month for $8.49. Because I'm usually strapped for cash, I do the month-by-month basis. I pay more, a lot more, than if I paid it yearly. Because if you really think about it, that's almost $9 a month. So $108 for the year versus $40. Big difference. It's just easier for me to manage. I tend to come up with $40 at one jump. So, but that's the only, like I said, absolutely not necessary. And by the way, this is not sponsored. This is not sponsored in any way whatsoever. There's no affiliate link or anything like that. I'm just doing this because I use this all the time. And I don't know if you remember that I said I use a couple of fasting trackers that I'll go over in the next day or two. I sometimes use multiple programs for the same thing this is the only tracker I use. I have used all of the others, of the 3 main ones. There are plenty of them out there, but the 3 main ones with the most stuff on them is Carb Manager, Spark People, and MyFitnessPal. And that means they go way above and beyond simple food tracking. They have articles, they have support groups. I will say that Spark People by far has the most in the terms of groups and forums and articles and stuff like that. That's all included in their free membership. Way more than any other program. Carb Manager and MyFitnessPal on those areas come in pretty even. I just think that Carb Manager is the best choice for a keto person because Spark People really, you can do it, but it's tough. They don't really track the macros the same way. That's not their focus. Their focus is calories. But it all works. And I will do a complete rundown on both FitnessPal and Spark People in separate videos. But It's basically up to you. I just wanted to show you what it was all about and how easy it is to use and sign up for it. It takes just a few minutes. Well worth it. Once you're set up and running, I gotta take this off there because I do not have any liver to eat tomorrow. Okay, and if you want more information on fasting or keto, check out these videos up here and have a great day.